Hi, all. Welcome back to our special World Cup reiteration of the podcast, Qatar 2022. All right, before we begin, my little monologue. This World Cup taking place where it's taking place, at the time it's taking place, and in the conditions it's taking place is an absolute disgrace. FIFA has been an organization rife with corruption, rife with abuse for as long as I can remember. I do not care about this being a World Cup, introducing or showing people's differences. Football is a global game, and I get that. And being held in a Muslim majority country is a good thing, but there are other places perfectly fine that could have held this World Cup. We think of Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, all Muslim majority countries absolutely mad about football and have no reputation that Qatar have. Over the years, we've had so many reports of human rights violations, workers dying in their hundreds building stadiums in the desert, and yet nothing was released from FIFA. Not a single letter of concern, not a message expressing their questions or concerns to Qatar. Nothing. Absolutely quiet. No concerns at all. So this is what I feel about the World Cup. Saying all that, it is still the biggest game on the planet. It's being held when it's being held and whatever time it's being held. We have to discuss it because, of the size of it. But those are my views, and I think majority of you or the people watching it or talking about the World Cup have those views. That's it. I'm done with the topic. Whilst we're discussing the World Cup during this podcasts, I just had to let everyone know how I feel and what my feelings are. Anyway, I'd like to introduce the panel. We'll just quickly go over the introduction of the World Cup today, talking about different teams, what's going to happen, and how we're all feeling. So, first question, your favorites for the World Cup, Emil?
My favorites for the World Cup would be Argentina and Brazil. The
Choose one,
standard.
bro. Choose one.
Standard.
You can have two.
It's fine. You can't pick both.
I can pick one only? Okay, I'll do Brazil.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, I say Brazil as well. I think they've got the best all-round squad.
Oh. Mered?
Yeah, Brazil. Neymar's redemption.
Okay. And Arad?
Argentina. I think Messi is going to tear up this World Cup. I'm absolutely convinced by it.
We had such a theme going, and then you decided to go and ruin it. Anyway, if I have to answer it, I'll probably have to say Brazil as well. They're looking way too good at this World Cup. Let's move on to the next point of discussion. I think it would be worth discussing England, their chances, their starting lineup, I think, mainly because our podcast is in English. I was thinking we could first start off with discussing the squad. How do we think the English lineup will look in the beginning? So how Southgate sees it, and then perhaps how we think England should go and what our best starting 11 is for the first match of the World Cup, obviously. So let's start with Mer. Who do you think will start in goal for Gareth Southgate's team?
So in goal, it has to be Pickford. Personally, I would have actually taken.
Oh my god!
He started from the first question.
No. Listen, guys, I would have taken Henderson.
No.
I would have taken
he would have
Henderson
taken
to the World Cup
guys.
over Nick Pope, and I'll tell you why. I think in
the
World Cup.
I'm done. I'm out.
Guys, in a World Cup, just like you've got situations in a World Cup like Ivan Toney, for example, who's not been picked a penalty specialist, Henderson is a specialist in penalties as well as a goalkeeper. You cannot leave these types of players at home and take Nick Pope as a third choice goalkeeper. So I'd take Pickford only because of his experience. I think Ramsdale has a shout, but I just don't think he's experienced enough to lead from the back. Whereas with Pickford, he's very vocal, as you've seen with Everton. So Yeah, for me, it's a very obvious answer. For Southgate, that is. I don't agree with it, but for Southgate, Pickford starts.
Okay, I guess let's discuss the backline a little bit. So, Paul, your thoughts on the backline? And then
Again, I think there's two different ways of looking at this England squad. One is what will Southgate do, and the other is
Yeah.
what do we want to see England do. And I think I agree with Merad. Southgate will start Pickford. He always will, and he will play a back five. He'll play the
Yeah.
same back five we've always seen. About three centre backs of being Kyle Walker, Harry Maguire, John Stones, Trippier on one side, and I guess Trent will start on the other side just because James is injured.
I think you're froze. Okay, that's it. We have a special guest in the background of our podcast, by the way, Arad.
Who is that?
That's
It's Gus.
Gus.
Why is he inside?
It's actually fitting. We have.
I mean-
it's fitting. We have Gus hitting in the podcast. Talk about football. Okay, Arad, what are your thoughts on the back line and on the back five, and who do you think will be the back five? Well, Gareth
I
Southgate,
love
that is.
I love how everyone has to split decision between what we would do and what Southgate would do, which goes to show a lot about the faith or the lack of faith that people have in Southgate's management. He has, I think, one of the best squads England have had in a long time, but we know he's going to play that back seven, is what I call it, because it's a back five and two defensive midfielders. So I think I would agree. I don't think Trent starts though. I think Shaw takes that left back and probably Trips starts right back, and maybe Kyle Walker as a right-sided centre back with Maguire and Stones. I personally wouldn't play Maguire, and this isn't because of a Man United bias, guys. It's just on form. Even for England this year, he's had bad games. He cost them the game against Germany, albeit a friendly. But again, I think these players aren't taking friendlies lightly, given that that was their only preparation for this World Cup. Yeah, it's a disgrace really to be playing a back five against countries like, again, respectfully, Iran, US and Wales. You should be going out and beating these guys. And in goal, I have to strongly disagree with Merad. I actually don't think Pickford will start. I think Nick Pope's going to start.
What?
And Ramsdale would be my second choice. Definitely Pickford would be the third choice keeper for me, and what I think should be fair based on form. Dean Henderson's got a spot, and that is at home on the sofa, just like most of us will, because I think we've done as much this season as he has. He's done nothing to deserve a spot.
Strong words. Okay, I think we're moving on to midfield and moving on to Emil. What do you think the midfield will look like, and whether you'll make any changes to it?
That's an interesting question. Well, I think that Henderson's gonna play. But yeah, maybe we move on to someone else answering that question.
Okay, fine. I'll go to Paul, but the midfield then.
The midfield, they like as we said before, it's probably going to be a 5-2-3. What I would love to see is a 4-3-3, having Declan Rice as the holding, with Mason Mount and Bellingham being given the freedom to go and attack and make this more exciting game. But yeah, I hate to say it, it probably looks like it's going to be a dull 5-2-3 with Phillips and Rice as the two holding centre mids.
Okay. Arad, what do you think about the quite possible Henderson Rice or Henderson Phillips pivot in the midfield?
Henderson won't play. I don't think Henderson starts the game. As mind-numbingly stupid as Southgate is, he will not play Henderson. I think Paul's right, although I do think Bellingham will start. So I think it'll probably be Rice with Bellingham. I don't think Phillips will start. He hasn't played many minutes, which is even a shock for him to get in the squad. But I think he's got enough common sense in him, Southgate, not to start a player that's played like 60 minutes all season. And if Bellingham doesn't start, there'll probably be riots in in Qatar from the England fans. Like, I can't see Bellingham not starting. He's their best player.
No, fair enough. I think we'll slowly transition into the attacking lineup. Question for Mered. Grealish, does he start for the team or does he not?
That's a tough one because I think he will. On merit, that is. I don't believe he's deserved the starting lineup from performances. So I think their front three will be Harry Kane up front in the middle. I think he's going to play Grealish on the right-hand side. And down the left, we're going to see Phil Foden, and they'll switch around throughout the game. I don't see Saka starting. But as I said, I only think it's based off merit and based off experience and Southgate's favoritism. I think Saka, for what he's done this season, has probably earned himself a starting spot on the right wing, only because they don't have anyone better down there. But yeah, I see Grealish playing.
Okay, and now finishing on with the mill. So I think that's going to be the front three, Kane, Grealish, or someone else. Who would you start? And an outside chance of Rashford starting for England. What do you think?
What do you mean? So Rashford?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
think
he's
Rashford
gonna
has a
start.
chance, or you think he's gonna be an impact player?
Rashford, yes, most probably I don't know if Rashford is gonna start. I think he's gonna start Saka for sure, to be honest.
Same.
Kane definitely, but yeah, I don't think Grealish is gonna start. But because Grealish didn't start much in the Euros either, did he? He was more as a sub, or did he start as well in the Euros?
I think
I don't remember.
started playing. I think it's
What?
I think yeah, he was like he
was
came
on the
in. I
bench
think
for the
later
most
on
part.
more of a
He was
Yeah,
more of
so
a
I think
bench
it's gonna be
player.
the same thing, to be honest. There's not gonna be much difference. I think that Kane is definitely gonna start no matter what. Kane is always gonna be there up top. And yeah, I guess there's also Sterling as well. So he might start Sterling. But okay, I think that definitely how it's gonna look, it's gonna be, Kane, Saka, and I would say either Sterling or maybe Rashford.
Okay.
If they have three up top.
Sterling's actually an interesting choice. Nobody even mentioned him in the discussion, which is interesting. Okay, so we can move on to our next discussion, but I think we're all ready for Harry Maguire to start in the center of defense and play the entire tournament for England. I think that's a very big possibility. I think our next question is an interesting one. Every tournament has their dark horse, whether it's the Euros or the World Cup. I remember it being Costa Rica, 2014. I'm not sure. I don't remember who it was in 2018, but we had a number of teams. Who do you think will take the mantle of a dark horse this year, and whether they'll perform to expectations? Paul, let's start with you.
It kind of depends on how much expectations we put on the Netherlands. I think we're expecting them to get out of their group, but personally, at least for me, beyond that, I don't think they have that expectation of going past around the 16th. But I think they could do a really good job in this tournament. And then also, I can never look past Mexico and how I don't know. I just love how they play and the passion that they play with. And I would say either Netherlands or Mexico would be the dark horses in this tournament.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like a interesting answer, but I don't think you can classify Netherlands as the dark horses of the tournament with their heritage and pedigree in the tournaments. But I see your point. Mered?
I'd actually say Senegal. I think
It's a good choice.
Sadio Mane, if he gets back to full fitness, which for country, I think even if he's not full fitness, he'll still play. Edward Mendy at the back, of course. So they've got a solid goalkeeper and a solid attacker, and everyone else in between is just there to make up numbers. But that being said, passion drives them, right? So they don't have a weak squad. So I actually see Senegal going to at least the quarterfinals. and I assume that if they do get second in the group, which I'm actually thinking they'll get first place, they're going to beat Netherlands to the top spot. But if they do get second, they're going to have to come up against the second place or the first place of the England group. And if that game happens, I actually see Senegal winning that game against England. So, yeah, I definitely rate them, and I think they have a very good chance of being the dark horse.
A good choice. Arad?
So that Group B looks interesting to me because England are in it, but then you've got three teams that look, they're not bad teams. You know, US, Iran, and Wales. Iran probably the weakest of them all, but even Iran's not a team that goes and gets beat very easily. Even in the past World Cups, we've seen countries like Argentina, you know, get 90th minute winners with Messi. Like the team just doesn't concede many goals. So I would say that the team that finishes second in that group, assuming England don't do a big shocker and not go first in the group, the team that finishes second comes up against the winner of the Netherlands group, if I'm not wrong. So, and I don't rate the Netherlands, to be honest. I think I'm with Paul on that one, where I do think they could be a dark horse because I don't see them really being this team that they used to be with the squad they've got. So even if they make it to the round of 16 or past, I'd say they've done more than what anyone expected. So I think the team that finishes second in Group B, whether it's Wales, Iran, or US, could be a dark horse because they could genuinely go and beat the Netherlands and then get into the quarters. And I mean, then on, it's 3 games really to win the World Cup. I'm not saying they'll win it, but at that point, you start believing.
Yeah, fair enough. And finally, Emil, are you going to go with Qatar being the dark horse or anybody
The
else?
dark horse, no.
That was a racist comment, bro.
Yeah, well, no. Okay, I would say Senegal. I tell you, Senegal is, again, because of Sadio Mane, I think he's going to, pull it up from Group A. And then Group B, I don't know. I think, England is going to be first. But again, second, I think it's going to be between Iran and the US, I would say. I don't know. I don't think.
Not a lot of respect given to Wales, huh?
Yeah,
That's the thing, guys.
because
Wales is being, it's Gareth
washed up
Bale,
a
and he
little bit.
always performs.
Do you guys
for
know
Wales.
any good golfing courses in Wales? In Qatar, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't see them doing much, to be honest, Wales. I don't know.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and just quickly, let's look and discuss the current champions who are, I would say, in turmoil, to put it lightly. The World Cup curse, is it real?
I think so. I
Paul?
think it's very real.
Okay. What do we think of France this year? I mean, their squad looks almost unrecognizable from the 2018 World Cup. They have majority of their players missing. Some haven't made the cut. A lot of injuries, and Nkunku got injured a couple of days back. Today, yeah, and he's not going to the World Cup. What do you think they're gonna do, Emil? What do you think we should expect of France? Just solid performance in the quarters, or want to make it out of the group?
You're muted.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry. Regarding France,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see them doing much, to be honest. I don't know. I think that they do have a good squad, but I don't see. I think they will definitely go out of the group stages, but I don't think they're gonna get out of the round of 16. I think that's the max they're gonna get to round of 16. Because I don't see them. Again, they have a very good. What, Merit?
You finish your point.
I don't. I don't even think I wouldn't even put them in the top 4 of strongest teams in the World Cup, in my opinion. I would say Germany has more of a chance to win than France. I don't know why. That's how I feel. I feel like they already, they already had their greatness back with the World Cup win.
Fair enough.
No, guys. No, you're writing France off. Everyone's
all right. Yeah.
Well, I did my predictor today, right? And I know we're gonna go through that. And I genuinely put them all the way up to the semis, and then I was basically in my semis. Spoiler alert! I had France and Portugal, and I genuinely can see either of them winning, depending on if Mbappe shows up on the day. So they could easily have a route to the final. And then, honestly, even if they get to the final against Brazil or Argentina, they could win it. They have a good team and a good coach that has got the best out of these players before, and I'm sure you'll do it again. Like France are dark horse, but not really, because I think people are just writing them off too soon.
Okay, and I think I'll, go on to Paul and Merritt for the just final statements about France and whether how do you feel they're going into the World Cup? In 2018, they were going in as the favorites. I think it would be easy to say. Right now, they're going into as it seemed that, nobody knows what's going to happen to them. So, Merritt, final thoughts.
I think the spotlight is so much on the South American teams, namely, obviously, Argentina and Brazil, that people are forgetting about France and their domination last time. But you got to remember, Mbappe is probably twice the player he was back in 2018 now. They've got the Ballon d'Or winner, Benzema, up front. They've got one of the world's best centre-backs in Varane. And overall, they've just got a solid back line as well, and just a good team. So I know we're going through...
And Saliba, don't forget Saliba in the back.
Who?
Oh, shut up, Merritt.
No, look, generally, I think they've got a really good squad. And I know they're nowhere near the favorites they were in 2018, but 2018 was a weird one because a lot of teams were quite weak that year, and the fact Croatia got to the World Cup final says a lot. So, in my predictor, I actually got France getting to the finals. And I still think they've got a really solid chance of winning it. I just think it's, as Arad said, it's about Mbappe showing up. It's about them gelling as a team. Obviously, and Nkunku being out, they're going to bring the best player in France, Anthony Martial, into the squad, in my opinion.
They already replaced him, by the way. So
what?
They already brought a replacement. Yeah, I think it's this other guy. It was reported.
Sure?
Yeah, it was reported. I think a couple of hours ago.
All right. Well, let's get him injured as well then. We need Camavinga to go for 2-for-1s, and then get Tony Martial in. But no, in all honesty, they've got a really good squad. So I do rate them as a really solid squad, and the fact that I have a spotlight on them might actually help them to get through the knockouts without any sort of pressure.
Okay. And Paul, finishes off strong. Your thoughts, if you can summarize it quickly.
All right.
France.
I'm going to come out of left field. I think the curse will continue, and I think they're not getting out of their group. I think when you look at the beef that's coming into the camp at the very beginning is not really a healthy one. Then you look at how they performed in the Euros, getting knocked out by Switzerland, and then lastly, Deschamps has been there for a very long time, and it's the same as Joachim Löw when he was in Germany. It's just the manager stayed there for too long. Mental fatigue of the same guy over and over again. I think they're going to finish third in this group. Australia sneaks through second place.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Anyway, strong opinions. Okay, I think now we're gonna move on to discussing the World Cup tree. We prepared a little thing on the side. We're gonna discuss who's gonna finish where and how the World Cup will be looking like. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. So let's look at the World Cup tree and see how everyone fares up. So,
technology.
Yes, let's start off with Group A. Who's our winner?
I'm going for the Netherlands.
Yeah, I mean, you can guys speak out of turn as well. I think that's all right.
I'd say Senegal tops it with Netherlands second.
Okay, so we have one for Netherlands, one for Senegal. Paul?
Netherlands first, Senegal second.
Emil?
Same. Netherlands
Yeah, I
first, Senegal
think
second.
Similar. So.
Merad's in the mud, mate.
Nah, you're all playing it safe. I get it.
Second place, Senegal. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
No, bro, Ecuador.
Look,
Qatar.
I think
Qatar players doping all the way.
It could depend. It could depend on whether Senegal have money or not. If they don't, then Who knows?
I think Mane will play.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I've heard
I
reports
think
that he's fit to play.
the Senegal. Really, I heard the Senegal FA said he's not fit
1000%.
for the game against Netherlands. So I'm not sure who to believe.
Ooh.
Anyway, I think we have to see for the first game of the tournament.
Just for any Liverpool fans watching, by the way, where do we think King Salah is going to finish in the World Cup? The Egyptian king couldn't even make it to the World Cup. Best player in the world.
Okay.
Anyway, go on.
Group B, I think we're gonna have a good discussion here. First place,
England.
do we all agree?
Yeah,
Iran.
England.
I say Iran.
Come on,
Nice.
King.
I
think
say
that-
England.
England, okay.
England.
Okay, interesting. Second question. Let me
Iran.
Okay, let me express my opinion. Second place, US. I think they have an alright squad to go through.
Nah, they play soccer, bro. They're in the wrong World Cup.
Anyway, hold on. I think it'll be fair as we have two Persians during the podcast. They have no choice in this group because bias plays a part. So we exclude them. Paul, Emil, and myself are deciding in second place.
Okay,
Bro,
but how
literally
say-
10
I'm
minutes ago, I said that Iran's the weakest in the group.
I'm joking. Let's go. Anyway, Arad.
Yeah, Iran second.
Okay, Marad.
Iran second.
Okay, so I guess we're moving on to Emil.
I would say Iran as well second.
Come on, son.
Paul.
Yeah, Iran second.
Okay.
He wanted
we're-
Iran
I guess we're all
first.
taking the piss here. Then. I guess let's go. Okay. Group C. I think it's an easy choice for first. Am I right?
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Second place. What are we thinking? Why?
I'm gonna go Mexico.
Why Mexico though? Mexico's team is in disarray. Their coach is somebody who's not respected by the team. Their squad isn't as strong as before. The Mexican fans aren't as hopeful. So why Mexico? Is it just because of their pedigree? You can't just base.
Do you want footballing
based on
reasons
their
or
thing.
other?
Yes, footballing reasons. What else? This is not a WWE podcast. Go ahead.
I don't know. They've got the white powder. They've got tequila. They can do a lot with that, bro.
Okay, why are we not talking about Poland? Lewandowski, the squad is looking very, very strong. I think Poland performs usually on the big stage.
Yeah, I would say Poland as well. Definitely Poland. I would
Lewandowski
say.
has 0 World Cup goals.
Doesn't
What do you mean
matter.
he performs?
Doesn't matter.
Nah,
Mexico
Lewandowski's
aren't any
finished.
better. How are Lewandowski?
He's
How are
finished.
Mexico better?
I'll tell
In
you
what
why.
way?
Very simple. Chucky Lozano. Right?
How many Chucky Lozano games have you watched this season?
Two.
Absolutely
Napoli
none.
played Liverpool twice, and I watched both games.
Wasn't he benched by Kvicha Kvaratskhelia for both of those games?
Yeah, well, he came on. He came on though, and he had a game. He had a goal against Liverpool.
No, the point is, as Paul said earlier, Mexico's got that dog in them, right? They've just got something about them in international cups, international competitions, and you can never write them off.
Ochoa.
Okay, Paul.
Oh, yeah,
you're the,
Ochoa.
you're the deciding vote.
I say Mexico as well because, like, I
Come
think
on.
there's going to be a clear difference we'll see between European teams and how they approach it, with the back of their minds thinking about their competitions, Europa League, Champions League, La Liga, their domestic things. While Latin America, Africa, they're more passionate. They will put their country over their club. Well, I feel European players will put their club over their country. So that's why I just have to say Mexico.
This
Plus,
World
they got
Cup-
good vibes. I love their kit. It's spot on. I want to see more of it. Good vibes from Mexico all the way.
This World Cup is probably going to be the end of this podcast because people will realize that this group has very bad ball knowledge. And
Or
anyway,
we peak because we're the only ones who saw this coming.
okay, moving on
To the moon.
Group Z, first place. Let's see. France.
Wait, is it really small for anyone else? Because I can't even see who's in the group.
You can zoom in.
Anyway, I see it now.
So first place.
France.
France.
Yeah, I think we talked about
Yeah.
the World Cup curse, but I think this group is way too weak for France to get knocked out of it.
Yeah.
I say
agreed.
Denmark first, Australia second. That's what I say.
Okay, how can you mute
Wow.
Paul? Paul usually has good knowledge. Right now, it is in the disposal. I'm sorry. Okay, second place.
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah, easy Denmark.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think no point of discussing anything else. That's a good.
You know what, guys? 1 second. The thing is, we're all giving answers based on no upsets, right? We're saying what logically should happen. But Paul's got a point in the fact that there will be upsets in the World Cup. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting to the upsets, bro. Wait for it.
We already
Oh.
have an upset with Iran and Mexico. Those
We
are
literally have only facts there, but anyway.
your facts are based off, I don't know, Bing research or something. That's your facts. Okay, Group E. First and second. That's probably gonna be a tough one. So, Emil, what do you think?
I would say Germany first, and that's a hard one for the second one.
Do you not see the first country on the list?
Yeah, I know, but I don't believe in Spain. I really don't believe in Spain.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, you not believing in gravity doesn't mean it stops pulling you down. It's there.
Nah,
Yeah, I
listen,
know, but
I'm here
they're-
for the upsets. Let him speak. Let him speak.
Okay, just put Spain second, whatever.
Okay, Paul.
I think Spain will finish first. Their national team seems to be going on a good upwards trajectory, and I think Germany they're not top level, but I think they're just good enough to get second in this group.
Mered.
Yep, same opinion as Paul.
Spain, really?
Spain first, Germany second, just about.
Arad.
Spain first.
Okay.
I mean,
Why?
I could say Japan second. Well, Spain's just got a better gelled team. I feel like Germany aren't that good. They have a young squad, and I think in 4 years at the next World Cup, or even in 2 years at the next Euros, they'll start to be more serious. But Spain just seem to have a little bit more experience as well as youth. So Spain first, Germany second.
See your point, but that's what I want to bring up. They have a new manager. I think their squad is hungry for success. I'd go with Germany, but I guess the will of the many trumps the wishes of the few. So Spain first, Germany second. Group F. I have a very interesting opinion on it, but I'll wait for you to decide. We'll finish this up here.
Who are you asking?
Before we start, I think very controversial opinion. This is a whole lot of mid in this group. So,
Yeah.
Arad, you go first.
Oh, okay. Belgium has to be first, even though I don't think they're the team they used to be. They're an aging squad. They have to be first. Maybe Canada could be second. I think Croatia also has an aging squad, and last World Cup they did well, and I don't see too many new players that have come in. So Canada second.
Interesting. Before we actually move on, I'd like to make a point. I heard I don't think you're gonna go with the same choices, but I'll stake a claim for Canada second as well. Their team looks really, really strong compared to everyone else. They finished first in their qualifiers with US and Mexico present, which is actually quite a good achievement. Looking at Canada, it's a nation that only has hockey and moose chasing as their main two sports. Alphonso Davies, Lauren Buchanan, all those, I think majority of their players. Oh, Jonathan David playing in European leagues on a good level. And I think they're pretty young as a squad.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think I'll agree with Arad. Croatia, I can't think of their squad changing much since 2018. And in 2018, their squad was already hitting 30s in most positions. So I think I would have to say Canada, but I'm open to suggestions as to what you think will happen. Mered.
You said this group is full of mids.
Yeah.
I still think you cannot write off Belgium. I think they've got a reasonable squad. Not favorites by no measure, but they could be, somewhat of a wild horse, if you want to call it that way. or dark horse or wild card. But
Bro just
Yeah,
put
I got-
wild horse, wild card, and dark horse.
yeah, I know. I got those mixed up. Yeah. Yeah, I'd go Belgium comfortably first in this group, and for me, Croatia is still there. I still think Luka Modric has got that dog in him to perform. So yeah, I think look, Canada's a great shout, and I think they're just gonna miss out marginally, but you can't write off Croatia. I think they've got the precedent and the history. They deal with the pressure. Great captain with Luka Modric, so they can deal with the high pressure situations much better than Canada can.
Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Belgium do finish top of the group, but just because how the other teams are all mid, like Belgium, their only good player now is De Bruyne. Hazard's gone. Lukaku's
Lukaku.
Is Lukaku in the
Lukaku.
squad, guys?
Yes, he is. I'm sure he is.
Okay.
I haven't checked the squad, but I think he is.
I can't even name a single Belgium centre back. There used to be Alderweireld and Vertonghen,
Yeah.
but they're both retired. But what will be really interesting is that Canada-Croatia game. Because I think it all comes down to who can get the better of each other in that game. So
Why
but
are
I'll
yeah?
say again.
No, go on.
I will say it depends. Is Alphonso Davies fit? Because I saw the reports that he was injured.
I'm not sure. Again,
No, he's
I
fit.
think
He's
he's
fit.
fit. Okay, yeah.
Okay, if he's fit, I put Canada second because I think he lifts everyone else around him up. Knowing that they've got a player like that just lifts everyone else in the locker room up. So if he is fit, I put Canada second. If he is out for the World Cup, then I say Croatia second.
Emil?
Yeah, I would say Belgium first and Croatia second. Same thing as Merit said. I feel like Croatia is gonna manage like always. They're very good under pressure. I mean, they proved it in the last World Cup. So I think they should be fine.
Interestingly, nobody even mentioned Morocco. How come? I mean, they
Isn't
have Ziyech. Is he
yeah,
in
but
or not?
yeah,
'Cause they have,
Ziyech's
like,
in,
beef
but
with the manager,
Thingy
so,
isn't. No, sorry, Ziyech's not in. It's Hakimi at right. Like that's their star player.
Yeah.
Which actually, you're right in saying that. Why are we saying that Alphonso Davies can carry Canada, and yet we're writing off Hakimi? Because between the two, you'd say Hakimi is probably the better fullback overall.
Yeah, but I think because as a group, Canada has better players. You kind of know some Canadian players and performing at a top level. From Morocco, we know Hakimi, we know Ziyech, probably. We don't know who's going to be in them.
The streets will never forget Taarabt.
Yeah, where is he
That's
now?
true.
I don't think he got
Five-star
a call.
skill moves on FIFA, bro.
But so
Yeah, but
I'm,
Ziyech's not in, Daniel. So
exactly. So I'm going with Canada as well because I really think they're looking well. And plus, the group really allows them. But I think Paul said it. Canada, Croatia is actually going to be a very interesting game to watch.
Emil, it's lonely at the top, bro. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Group G. I'm not asking anyone because we already know who's going to finish top. I think it's not up for discussion or for debate. Second place, yet again, a lot of choices, interesting ones. Emil, what do you think?
Switzerland, of course. I mean, what do you mean? Shaka's going to carry them.
Very good choice. Paul.
I agree. Switzerland second.
Mered. Let's see.
Switzerland.
Oh, actually, a card.
Yeah, I think they've got a good squad. So at least better than Serbia and Cameroon. So Switzerland, easy choice.
All right. Similar opinion or something else?
Yeah, Switzerland second. But I think you guys answered far too quickly. I think you have to give Cameroon and Serbia a little bit more credits. They're not that much below Switzerland. But probably Xhaka carries them.
I would agree on that point with Serbia, but not so much Cameroon. I think we keep
Isn't Eto'o playing for Cameroon?
I think he retired.
You're 10 years too late, I think.
Is he not died yet?
Emil seriously asking, is he retired?
No, it was.
Serbia's got some good players of Mitrovic, Milinkovic, Savic, Oblak. Is it Oblak?
No, Oblak is Slovenia.
Same thing. No, I'm kidding.
That's not. That's cancel culture's coming after me.
That is a pretty bad miss.
All my Balkans.
That's it.
Kolarov? Kolarov there?
I think I don't know if he retired. Look, the thing with Serbia, we kind of. I had this opinion that we have a good strong in 2018, and I had an easy group. I thought, yeah, they're finishing second, and they haven't. The group was really, really similar to this. I think instead of Cameroon, who had someone else, but I don't know. They have very good individuals, but as a team, I don't know. I'll go with Switzerland as well, but the Shaqiri derby again. Let's see if they'll do the Albanian Eagle again.
Oh,
It's gonna
yeah.
be interesting to see. That would be quite fun. I think we came to a consensus that it's Switzerland, so let's go. Okay, Group H. I'll go to Merit first because I just wanna see.
I wonder why.
Yeah, that's out of interest.
Yeah, I think Portugal probably gets first place here, and Uruguay gets second place. But I think they just get it above Korea, in my opinion.
Okay, Arad, you. What about you?
Uruguay tops the group, and because I genuinely think Portugal are gonna have too many internal battles. I do think this Ronaldo situation is gonna play into the World Cup. So Uruguay have a really good team as well. Valverde is there. They've got still Suarez. They've got Cavani. They've got a good striking force. I think Godin is still there as well, if I'm not wrong.
No, I don't think. But I think they have
they
have a lot of good defenders. So.
Araujo, yeah, Ronald Araujo is there. They have a good team, so I think they could genuinely finish top and Portugal second.
Okay, Emil?
Yeah, I would say Portugal first and Uruguay second. I think Portugal have a very good team this year.
Emil
they have a
knows
lot of
ball,
talent.
guys. Emil knows ball.
Okay.
But they have a lot of talent.
Yeah, but
Paul?
they've also got Ronaldo, so.
Yeah.
I think Portugal do finish first. I have to agree with you guys there. But I'm going to throw a curveball in there. Korea second.
What?
I think with
No.
Son, plus that whole group together, I think they could do something. I think they could
Name me one other Korean player.
I cannot. I'm sorry. I'll throw my walk down the show. I'll throw my walk down the steps and see what some noises come out.
I'm with Arad on this one. I think. I'll go with
you. Listen. Before the World Cup started, Iran beat Uruguay 1-0.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we're built different, bro. We're built different.
I'm just throwing the curveball in there. Korea finishing second ahead of Uruguay.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Tough one to follow, but
I did say it'd be close.
I agree with Arad with Uruguay first and then Portugal second, but
we're in the minority.
Again,
bro.
this is not the general consensus. So Portugal first and then Uruguay second. But Uruguay have a very good squad again. Nunes is picking up form at the right time, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's the other way around. Korea, I'm sorry, no. Third, maybe, but no. Okay. Round of 16th, we have Netherlands versus Iran. Let's start with that one. Please, let's be civil and proper answers.
Are we good with time, by the way? With time. How are we doing?
We have the time to finish this. No worries. Okay.
All right. Let's just be civil. Yeah. Put Netherlands through.
Let's just agree or disagree and put Netherlands there.
Argentina, Denmark.
Argentina.
Quite easy. Argentina.
Yeah, that's easy.
Actually, I make an argument that'll be a very close game.
4 of us already spoke. What are you coming in for? It doesn't even matter what you say at this point.
No. I just say, for argument's sake, Denmark will put up a very, very good fight. And that'll be a very close game.
They always do, but
yes, I still favor Argentina. However, yeah.
Okay, England Senegal on paper looks like a very easy win for England, but again, I think it all depends on
Senegal.
Southgate, and really,
I'm saying
Senegal. No, seriously, Senegal.
There's Paul. What do you
on
think?
penalties?
On penalties. That's the only way they could do it, I think.
No
I think
penalties.
they can do
what
it.
do you think? That's the question as to who goes through.
Who goes through? My heart says England, and I'm gonna go with England.
Emil?
Yeah, I say Senegal as well. I say
Really?
Senegal.
Nice. Come
you
on, majority.
Wow.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. Hold on. What do you base it on? You need to have the proper basis in order to argue.
We do. Sadio
What?
Mane.
Sadio Mane, that's one
And
player. You're giving me one
Yeah,
Harry
but
player.
England
Maguire.
always.
Harry
No,
Kane.
In
England
favor
are
of
gonna
Maguire.
bottle
That's
it.
two players,
I
bro.
think England are gonna bottle it. They'll play too
Look,
defensive
they
and
made it to
bottle
the
it.
semi-final of the last World Cup. They
Yeah,
made it to the final of the Euros. How are
Daniel,
they
they
not making
didn't
it
beat
past
any
Senegal?
notable. They didn't beat any notable teams, and this is not an England team coming in tip-top form. I think honestly, also the players are players that have been, unlike Senegal. These players for England, because the majority are in the Premier League, they've probably come in really tired as well. They've been playing for 3 days. Sorry, they've been playing every 3 days for the last 2 months. So I genuinely think they'll bottle it 0-0 or 1-1 on penalties. Senegal go through.
Yeah, but even in general, they play very defense. When have you
yeah.
seen England play attacking?
This is a travesty, but okay, go on. Sure.
Oh,
France,
no,
Mexico.
Yeah, I think France easy.
Me and
France
Paul,
shouldn't be there, in my opinion, but okay.
me and Paul should start our own podcast with actual knowledgeable discussion. You know?
Dude,
Spain-
you're
Yeah,
just
but
gonna get caught offside.
Don't get caught offside.
Spain, Canada. I think it's a
Spain.
easy choice.
Spain,
Yeah, it's a
Brazil,
whitewash. Spain.
Brazil, Uruguay. What do we think?
Brazil.
Easy, Brazil.
Easy.
Yeah, it's got to be Brazil.
Belgium, Germany.
Oof,
That's
Ooh.
interesting.
Belgium.
that's tough.
Germany.
I would say Germany.
I'm going Belgium.
So who's
Two
going
Belgium, two Germany.
And I'm gonna go
Oof.
Germany as well, mainly because I think
Oh wow.
Belgium has
Wow.
have an aging squad, and
Kai
I
Havertz
don't think
dick
they.
riders up here.
I'm sorry, you name a single informed Belgian attacker right now. Go ahead, and
Kevin
Kevin
De
De
Bruyne.
Bruyne.
okay, you got me there. But technically, he's a midfielder. He's not an attacker. He's a midfielder. But Kevin De Bruyne can't do it all alone. He needs people to pass the ball to and cross
He
and
does.
supply him with
Lukaku.
that. How many goals does he have this
Marat
season?
said Lukaku.
Bro, can I just say?
You just got
if-
caught offside,
No.
bro.
Let me finish my point, right? If you've got Kevin De Bruyne on your team, the number of good balls he puts into that box, you have to be literally a shit ball not to get those balls in. Like,
Marat. We
Marat,
watched Lukaku play. Do you remember his
it's
first
over.
touch?
It's over, Marat. It's over.
Lukaku
Let's just
Belgium
move on.
is different.
Portugal. Let's just move on. Portugal, Switzerland, Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal.
I'll say
Hold on,
Switzerland.
why Portugal? I
Well-
said Switzerland.
What do
Yeah,
you mean?
why Portugal?
Okay, why Portugal? Let's go through it. They've got a better team. They're coming in as it's one of the, let's say, top 4 favorites to win the championship, the World Cup. They've got strength and depth as well, especially I think in the wide areas in defense. You've got Nuno Mendes, Cancelo, Dalot, really good midfield, solid attack as well. Joao Felix doesn't even start, but he can come off the bench and make a difference. Switzerland have just got Xhaka, who'll put in the shift.
That's actually a very good point, but I'll counter that and state that we thought the same. We had the same arguments during the Euros with France and Switzerland, and yet France bottled it and Switzerland went through.
So with that game, by the way, yeah, I have to say, every time someone brings up that game, I know in the end it only matters who went through. But yeah, those games are very rare, where a team that deserves to go through doesn't. It might happen, and I guess we're saying that's going to happen between England and Senegal. I don't think there'll be like another upset in the round of 16s. I'll go Portugal still.
Okay,
But
thank
can
you.
I say,
Sure, go ahead, Paul.
I just want to say, Arad, I'm just going to use your own point against you that you made in the groups. You're talking about the Portugal's camp and how toxic it is at this moment. In the group stages, you may be able to get away with it, still qualify, having an unhealthy camp. But when you're going into a knockout game of this importance, Switzerland, who we haven't heard anything bad coming out of their camp, compared to Portugal with Ronaldo's situation, him and Fernandes, him and Cancelo, I think Switzerland go through on this one again in the same scrappy way of a comeback penalty shootout. Switzerland got the dog in them, so that's why I want to put Switzerland.
I'm going to counter what you said as well and say that actually you probably can get away with a bad camp in the knockouts more than you can in a group stage, just because you're so much closer to winning. Like at this point, you're 4 games away from victory. So I guess at this point you set aside everything and you just say, you know what, let's focus and go for it. Like this is when it gets real. You start realizing that if you win your next 4 games, you're gonna win the World Cup. So you can see it that way too. Is all I'm saying.
You
Now-
say, sorry, you say toxicity in the Portugal camp. I don't know if you saw what has come out from them recently, the last couple of days. First of all, Bernardo Silva has come out and said, this whole World Cup, we're not playing for ourselves. He said, I'm personally playing for Ronaldo. We want to do this for him. Cancelo's situation has already been cleared up, saying he was basically having a big one-on-one against, I believe it was Joao Felix during training, and he was getting quite heated. So Ronaldo went to like make him cheer up and joke a bit, but he was quite stern as well and stiff. And the whole Bruno situation, Joao Mario said it was sort of a joke, but even if it wasn't, the rumor is that that situation has been going on for a while now, that they haven't got along even at United. So it's not because of the Ronaldo interview, which is airing right now, by the way. So yeah, I don't think Portugal's camp is toxic by no measure. They've still got the quality, as Arad says. So I think Portugal easily sweeps Switzerland, barring an upset.
Okay, strong word. To finish it off, Emil, any last words? Any
Switzerland. I would say Switzerland.
Switzerland. My heart says Switzerland, but my brain says Portugal have their squad levels are way too good in order to be stalled by Switzerland. Maybe we'll have an upset, but we're slowly running out of time, so let's try and go with this with a little bit more pace. Netherlands, Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah, I think Messi is
Easy.
gonna be way too motivated. Spain, Brazil.
Brazil.
That'll be a
Brazil.
fun game to watch, but Brazil will go
Yeah.
through.
I don't think Senegal, France. I don't think there's an upset in
Yeah,
there. Do you guys?
France.
And I think this one we can discuss a little bit. Germany, Portugal. That's an interesting one. Because
Portugal.
I still go Portugal.
Yeah,
Same.
I would go Portugal here.
I'll go
Yeah.
with Germany, but I mean, if Portugal go this far, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
Semi-final. I want to start with France, Portugal, and then move on to Argentina, Brazil. France, Portugal. What are we saying?
France for me.
France.
I'm
Okay.
going Portugal here.
Yeah, I'm going Portugal as well. I think
Oh.
they're gonna bottle it, France. That's where they
Portugal
bottle
as
it.
well.
Portugal.
Whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not even sure France reached the semi-final. I think their way is way too easy, but I think Portugal as well because I'm not sure. I don't see France. I don't know. I don't see France making it that far, but I'll go with Portugal. as
The
well.
only reason we're going Portugal, just to clarify, as you said, it's unlikely Portugal gets here. But if they do get to this point, they're probably looking so good and everything's gelling so well for them that France probably won't have a chance against them. But albeit, as you said, France has a really way to get here, an easy path. So for them to get to the semi-final is sort of expected given their easy group stage and knockout games, as we predicted so far. But yeah, anything can happen. So Portugal being favorites here is because of who they've beaten beforehand.
That's a good statement. Yeah. Okay, and Argentina, Brazil. Let's have.
I think 4 of you are going Brazil. I'm going Argentina.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, can I speak?
Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
I want to say, if it gets to this point, Portugal are in the final. I want Argentina in the final. I want Messi and Ronaldo, the last dance, all or nothing. I want it.
Yeah, but I don't think Argentina's defense can handle Brazil, bro. I don't think they're that good.
That's true.
Lisandro Martinez.
Oh man.
He's one man, bro. He's Neymar.
Yeah, I mean, look again.
I don't think the defense.
We're making presumptions on just seeing it as being Argentina's last World Cup, Messi's last World Cup. We don't, and on the same side, we don't know how good Brazil are really in the world stage. We've seen them in the Copa America and all, but
no, I think now they're just heating up.
I'm tempted to say Argentina mainly for the Messi Ronaldo factor, honestly, but I think Argentina will just miss out and Brazil will take it. So majority agrees with Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on
I'm
to
with you, Arad.
third place match. It doesn't really matter the World Cup, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Argentina.
So I'm gonna say France between Argentina. I think I honestly think if Argentina miss out on the final, they'll lose in the third place match.
that's actually a great thought, because teams. I remember England in 2018. They just literally filled it out a second string 11 because they couldn't care less about the third place match against Belgium.
Plus,
So,
also
yeah.
remember, guys, this is in the middle of the season, right? So these players are having to go back to club football. And I just think that at this point, the mentality shifts in the third place match. And France have the depth that Argentina don't. So even if players aren't putting in a shift, the ones who don't play often will come and they'll be too strong. So I think
I
France.
still think Argentina, mainly if Messi for a medal, whatever medal it is, it's still a medal, I guess. So,
No,
what
I'm
is
going
it?
France as well.
Okay, are at France as well,
I'm France. Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, I'll go France as well.
Okay,
I'll go
France.
France.
Oh, France. Okay, fair enough. Final, Brazil, Portugal.
Brazil, man.
Brazil.
I think.
I think the final is going to be a lot easier than the semifinals to pick, only because of how strong Brazil look. Barring an upset, Brazil look like they're gonna. If this is the final, they'll take it.
Although, guys, looking back at Euro 2016, it was against Portugal, France, and Portugal were written off, and it was a similar kind of situation.
I was about to say
win.
that. Yeah,
But
if you look at the way Portugal got to this final, if they get there again, they've beaten some of the heavy favorites to get here and the really tough games.
But I think the weight of the
So-
evidence is so benefits Brazil so much. I do not see them losing it in this way. Plus, if Brazil reaches the final, I think their heritage and just their experience in there will help them out. I think Brazil is a good choice. I think Merritt mentioned it before. There's not a huge chance for Portugal reaching the final, for being honest. It's just because their way to the final is quite easy in our predictions. But I think Brazil takes it. So Brazil take home the World Cup finally for the first time since the year 2002.
Yeah.
And
would that make them the first ones to have 7 World Cups?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
And there we go. Anyway, this stuff doesn't matter. There we go. This is how it looks in the end.
Yeah.
One wall, one home. I think that's it for our first iteration of the World Cup podcast. We'll have more during the tournament, discussing the games, discussing interesting events.
Definitely.
This is a very fun chat, very interesting. A lot of controversial opinions, I have to say. It happens.
Namely, Korea getting second in the group.
Yeah.
Believe, boys, believe.
We don't even know if Son is fully fit, to be fair. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. A great chat, boys. We'll
don't get caught
offside very
offside.
soon.
Yep.
Don't get caught offside. Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.